Hey, what's going on guys, my name is Brad, welcome back to the channel, welcome back to my first ever top 5 video. Today I'm going through my top 5 best or favourite moments from Yu-Gi-Oh! Arc 5. With Reigns due to start in under 2 days, I thought I'd finally put this video up, since it was meant to release the week after Arc 5 had ended, but things got a little bit delayed, so I'm sorry for that. Now remember, this is all my own opinion, these are my top 5 favourite moments from Arc 5, and as such, yours will most likely differ drastically. So let me know in the comment section down below what some of your favourite moments were from Arc 5, and without further ado, let's get on to our top 5. Ollai's Raging Dragon is by far my favourite Dimension Dragon hybrid. It exudes all of the rage that Yu holds deep inside for everything Leo and Academia has done, especially to Yuzu, Serena and his friends, and it really shows in this scene from episode 129. Yu and Yuto's emotional range in this scene is what really makes it such a powerful one for me, with Yuzu initially calming Yu down from his enraged state but quickly being erased by Leo's initiation of the Arc 5 reactor and the beginning disappearance of Ruri, driving Yuto over the edge, causing them to use the full power of Ollai's Raging Dragon, and I quote, destroy everything. This takes the number 5 spot because it really emphasises just how much Yuto and Yu care about Ruri and Yuzu, and to what extent they're willing to go to make sure no harm comes to them. The final moments of episode 97, the second part of Yu vs Jack Alice's final duel in the Friendship Cup, takes the number 4 spot thanks to its incredible use of one of my favourite pieces of Arc 5 music, Swing Pendulum of the Soul, and the amount of development and realisation that Yu goes through thanks to the tough situation Jack has put him in, allowing him to realise that his style of dueling isn't something that he built on his own. Much like Pendulum Summoning, it evolved thanks to the people he'd met and those around him. Yu was able to summon 5 monsters simultaneously thanks to Pendulum Summoning, which looked stunning when combining the animation used with the now nostalgic Swing Pendulum, and amassing the surprise from Jack and cheers from the residents of the Synchro Dimension. But this moment led to a duel that not only symbolised Yu fighting with all of his monsters by his side, but the people of the Synchro Dimension coming together to fight against the Tops and make the city how they wanted it to be, to make them feel connected and part of one community rather than the disjointed mess it had been. The Synchro arc was my least favourite of the show's main 3, but this moment was too good not to include in my top 5 list. Speaking of the Synchro arc, one of the most emotional scenes out of the entirety of Arc 5, and a moment that had been highly anticipated by everyone, was the eventual reunion of Yu and Yuzu in episode 99 after 50 episodes of being separated from each other within the Synchro Dimension, which sent both Yu and Yuzu indirectly communicating with each other throughout their duels in the Friendship Cup, whilst trying to change the Synchro Dimension's outlook on their dueling events for the better, but it was nice to finally see these two be together for once, even if only for a short while. Being honest, I would have much rather this be the final reunion between Yu and Yuzu instead of the one we received in 148. Whilst I did enjoy the ending for what it was, it didn't have the same emotional resonance as this one did, despite the stakes being much higher in that episode. Unfortunately, their reunion was cut short by a wormhole appearing, splitting the two from each other, sending Yuzu to Academia, and Yu and the gang to the Excuse Dimension, but this made that reunion so much better as it forced Yu's hand to ensure that nothing got in his way of his journey to find Yuzu again and bring her back home for good. The second time Ollai's Raging Dragon appears on this list, and this time it's the first time he was ever summoned to the field. After the Doctor's attempt to control Yu Sakaki fails, Zark's true spirit is revealed for the first real time in the show, bringing with it a brand new Pendulum and Xyz hybrid, Ollai's Raging Dragon. This scene to me will always be one of my favourite due to how quickly intensity builds from the moment Yu finds out that the Doctor successfully brainwashed his best friend Yuzu. The parasite fusion monsters the brainwashed bracelet girls are using can sense the evil exuding from Yu's body, and they're afraid. This is one of the first times we've seen a monster be afraid in Arc 5, so you know things are about to hit the fan. Yu's eyes then glow demonic red, much more so than any other time we've seen him enter the Berserk mode, and the music that's played during Yu and Yuto's chant to summon Raging Dragon is incredible, and really makes this scene that much more intense for me. The look on Serena and Ruri's face after seeing the Supreme King Violent Dragon for the first time says it all. They're terrified, despite being under the control of the Doctor. And it's here we see just how overpowered and destructive Raging Dragon can truly be, destroying all spell and trap cards and attacking twice to not only send the bracelet girls flying, but destroying an entire wall of Academia. By far my favourite moment of Arc 5 was during episode 124, when Yu transforms into Yuto during their duel against the brainwashed Serena and Ruri. purely because it was completely unexpected for me and had me shocked the entire time. Aside from being a nice throwback to the original Duel Monsters series, it was nice seeing Yuto dueling for himself for once, and not just through Yu's body as we had seen during his duel with Kaito earlier in the story arc. But this scene is enhanced so much more when we get to see Yuto summon his signature Dark Rebellion Xyz Dragon, whilst looking back on memories of his time with Rory in Xyz Dimension before Academia invaded. It was nice to finally see a Yu-Gi-Oh! Protagonist, yes, I'm counting Yuto as one, be in an actual relationship and give us a nice look into Yuto's history, further enhancing some of the more emotional moments above which involved Raging Dragon. Of course, the music in this scene was incredible too, featuring two of my favourite scores from the entirety of the show. Now, when's the final Sound Duel album out? But that is it, that is my top 5 moments from Yu-Gi-Oh! Arc 5. A lot of them are from the final, the final stretch of Arc 5, which I know a lot of people didn't really enjoy, but episode 124, 125 were some of my favourite episodes throughout in the entire history of Yu-Gi-Oh! Throughout, Duel Monsters, GX, 5D, Zexal, and Arc 5. And I really enjoyed Arc 5 as a whole. The ending was maybe not as everyone wanted, but I still really enjoyed it. And hopefully you guys enjoyed this video as well. Again, like as I said at the beginning, let me know in the comment section down below your top 5 or your favourite moments from Yu-Gi-Oh! Arc 5. Let me know if you agree or disagree with some of my picks. I know people are going to disagree like hell with a lot of them, but that's just the whole fun of this. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one. See you then.